Hello, everyone, and welcome to a different type of Driving with Todd. I'm in my inner sanctum, quite the mess. I've got a lot of music, a lot of stereo equipment. Real tape deck is right here. I got a turntable right behind me. I've got speakers in front of me, and 8-track tapes over here. Reel-to-reel tapes over here, CDs piled up over here. These are things that I've been listening to. So this is my inner sanctum, what you don't normally see because I've got a big black screen over here showing a YouTube video. What I think is funny is when I watch other um, people's videos that show their room, they're just immaculate and they got great shelving units for their albums. Their stereo is like in a pristine location, and that's not me. It's just not me. I go with the flow. I go with whatever I'm into that particular day. So I thought I'd do a different type of video today, and that is covering what happened to me on Record Store Day. Record Store Day happens kind of twice a year. The big one is in April, the third Saturday of the month. This year it was April 18th, and then on Black Friday, right after Thanksgiving. And it's just an immense growing popularity, record buying frenzy. It's basically what it is. And this year there are a great number of albums released for Record Store Day. And the last couple of years, I wasn't really excited about Record Store Day. There just wasn't a lot of things that I particularly liked. So I walked away with very few albums. This year, the list was huge. And there was a lot of titles that I wanted to purchase, but I only have so much money, so I had to be careful on which ones I chose. So I did make a list of the records that I was looking for, knowing that some won't be there. Either the record store didn't order it, or they were shortchanged. They did order it, but they didn't get it, or they only got one or two copies and somebody else wanted it and purchased it before I was able to get into the store. Now, our local record store covers our county, and our county is about 100,000 people. And the record store's name is the Music Boxx. And it's a very small store, but he has a large amount of inventory, new and used. CDs, cassettes, vinyl, a lot of vinyl. So I thought, well, I'm not going to go there real early. In the past, I would try to get there between 6:30 a.m. and 7 a.m. while he opened his store at 8 a.m. This year, I thought, well, I'm just going to go at whenever I get there. And I got there about 7:30 a.m. And I parked my car about a block away, and I saw the front of the store, and it looked like there was only like a dozen people in line. It's like, really? Come on, that can't be. As I walked up towards the record store, the Music Boxx, I saw that the line went down the alley, behind the store, and over to one of the other streets. So I was probably like number 80 in line. But it was fun. It took me a little over an hour from when I got there to actually entering the store. Maybe it was an hour and 10 minutes, something of that nature. But there's people in line that, you talk about commonalities of records and the stereo equipment you have and things of that nature. So I finally get into the store, and they had most of the titles I was looking for, which I thought was interesting. So I had to determine now which one of these titles did I want. Well, one of them that they didn't have was they released a Black Sabbath album that I didn't have on vinyl, and so that was a little disappointing. Didn't get that one. There was another one called The Stranglers Rarities. Didn't get that one either. And then another one was Francois Hardy, her English album called In English. I'm a big fan of female vocalists from the 60s. I wanted that album. So that was three right off my list. I wasn't getting those three albums. But what I did get, I was very, very happy with. So I'm going to go through the music that I purchased on Record Store Day. Now, I have not listened to all of it. I've listened to a lot of it, but not all of it. I don't have a lot of time during the day to listen because I'm doing so many different things, but I get about maybe 2 hours of listening time, and I enjoy that time of the day. Well, the first album that I got is not really an album. It's a 6-song EP. but it's probably the length of an album. It's David Bowie's Halo Space Boy. Now this is a kind of a repress of his 12-inch single that was released for this particular song. Now this particular 12-inch has 6 remixes of Halo Space Boy, which is a great track. And one of the remixes is called the Tim Simonon mix, which is previously unavailable and on vinyl for the first time. So I was actually happy to find this particular 12-inch single. It says here on the front, there's a little sticker right here, and it says David Bowie Halo Space Boy 30th Anniversary 12-inch EP, pressed on neon pink vinyl, featuring mixes by the Pet Shop Boys, compiled on vinyl for the first time, plus a previously unreleased Tim Simonon remix, Record Store Day. So it's on what they call neon pink vinyl. So let's take a look at that. Comes in just a black sleeve. And there it is. Wow, is that beautiful. Now, I've not listened to this particular record yet. It's on my list to listen to for sure. So I'm anxious to hear it. I'm a big, huge David Bowie fan. Now, they did release another David Bowie record for Record Store Days, which the record store did have, and I actually had on my list, but I passed it by. It was called Excerpts from Outside. So it was a shortened version of his album Outside, which Halo Space Boy is from, but I'm not hot on that album. I've got multiple copies of the Outside album, so I didn't think I needed one that was just excerpts or certain songs from that particular album. So I left that behind. Maybe if I see it sometime in the future and some record store may still have it, maybe I'll buy it. I don't know. We'll see. The second one I got, I was pretty excited about. Okay, I was pretty excited about. Before I show you, I was reading on a website that they are releasing a box set of Wheels of Fire by Cream, which I have been waiting for ages. I was hoping they were going to do a 60th anniversary, actually a 50th anniversary back in 2018, and they didn't. And then I thought, okay, we got the 2028 anniversary, which would be the 60th anniversary of that particular album, and maybe they'll do it then. Well, they're doing it now. It's going to be released, I think, in June. And it's 5 CDs and a hardcover book in a box. And I'm very excited. I can't wait to get that. So a pre-release to that box set is this, Wheels of Fire live at the Fillmore Auditorium in Winterland Ballroom in March of 1968. That was actually their goodbye tour. It's got a similar cover to the original album, which I thought was just really cool, silver and black. I just love it. It's cool, very cool. Here is the back of the album. Again, very similar back cover to the original. It's a bifold sleeve, and it's just a pair of eyes looking at you in black and silver. Very cool. Very cool. I have listened to this one already, and the first album is what the second album was in the original Wheels of Fire, with Crossroads, Spoonful, Toad, and Train Time. And the mix is incredible. They remastered it. The sound is just outstanding. And let me show you the sleeve. So the sleeve for the first album is the cover of the original album. And then they have the track listing with some notes on the back. No colored vinyl. It's just black vinyl on a Polydor label. The second and third album is also sort of previously released material, but again, redone, remastered. The first one is songs from Live Cream. And again, on the back, let me just put this down. On the back is track listing and some notes. So, again, tracks from the Live Cream album. And then the third album are tracks from Live Cream 2. Now, it's not all the tracks from Live Cream 2, but they did add a previously unavailable track onto this set called We're Going Wrong. And that was recorded at Winterland in March 10th of 1968. So it has a one previously unavailable track. I do have all these albums, but it was great to get them in one package, great to have them remastered, and they sound fantastic. And I'm a huge Cream fan. I love Cream. So that's the preface to the upcoming Wheels of Fire box set. Now, another group that I just love. Okay, I bought I bought albums that are dear to my heart, and that is King Crimson live at Penn State University in 1974. Now, I got to tell you, I love King Crimson. I've got I have all their material. I've got it multiple ways, and I just think they're a phenomenal band. But one thing I didn't like about this album is this cover. It's like, come on, guys, you have awesome covers to your albums. This is not one of them. I'm really turned off by this cover, but I've listened to the album, and the album is phenomenal. They basically improvise throughout this album. It's a 2-record set, and the improvisations that they do are incredible, just incredible. And they do a version of Starless on here that just blows you away. What's cool about this album too is, okay, in the inside, again, a picture of Robert Fripp. Again, I'm not real sold on that picture. Is a great history of this album. What happened was King Crimson wasn't supposed to play the night they played at Penn State. They were supposed to have a night off because they were playing one night after another, and they do quite long sets. Well, their manager and business manager decided they needed to fill that time in and got them a concert date at Penn State University. Because it was so late, there was only about 250 people at the concert. The other thing was Robert Fripp wasn't feeling well. He had food poisoning. Yet, this is a great concert album. It is fantastic. Like I said, it's a 2-record set. And there he is on the label again. Okay. And again, it's just black vinyl. Nothing special on the vinyl. So a 2-record set, great set. They added on here, because Robert Fripp wasn't feeling well, they didn't do an encore. So just to make the record full, they added 21st Century Schizoid Man at the end of side 4, which was actually from Central Park, New York, July 1st, 1974, because normally that would have been their encore. So they still added encore onto the album, though King Crimson didn't play one that night. Okay, another group that I'm in love with, I really dig, is Orchestral Maneuvers in the Dark. Now, this is going to be really hard to show you because it's like silver with black lines, and that's all we get on the cover of the album, front and back. So I'm sorry if it looks kind of weird, but there, that's not too bad. And this one is called Archive Volume 1, 1981 to 1990. It's the first time, I believe, that it's on vinyl. It had been previously released on CD, and I don't have it, which I'm really surprised because I'm a huge fan of OMD. I just really love that group. Inside has a picture of the boys and a track listing, which is hard to see because of the glare. And then on the other side here is the story of the archives. It's a 2-record set. A lot of these are 2-record sets because initially they were released as compact discs, which would have been one disc. While a record can only hold 20 minutes on the side, it can hold more, but to get the sound, 20 minutes on the side, so you're talking 80 minutes for a 2-record set versus 80 minutes on one CD. So it's just in a sleeve, and again, black vinyl. Nothing exciting on the vinyl. I'm surprised they didn't do more with colored vinyl this year. Usually that's a big deal, and let's do as much as we can with colored vinyl. Then another one that just I couldn't wait to get. Okay, so I'm also a big fan of the Who, and they've been putting out box sets, large box sets of the Who. The first one was the Who Live at Leeds. I think that came out in like 2006 or 2007, which was multiple CDs and a vinyl album and a nice hardcover book and things of that nature. And they've been putting them out ever since, and I've been buying them. The only one I missed was Quadrophenia. When it came out, it was expensive, and you really didn't get a lot of never heard stuff before, so I kind of left it behind. Now I'm kicking myself because you can't find it. I would love to have it. But the one that they missed, so they got the Who, the first album, My Generation. They put out the third album, which is the Who Sell Out. They put out Tommy. Like I said, they put out Live at Leeds. They put out Quadrophenia. They put out Who's Next. They just put out Who Are You? That came out early this year. And the one that they're missing is their second album, which is a quick one. And people have been asking, why isn't that out as a box set? Why are you missing that particular album? Well, for Record Store Day, they released it as a 2-record set. They did a quick one. And what's cool about it, it's the original mono mix remastered of this album. And then the second disc, it's a 2-record set again. The second disc is rarities, single A-sides and single B-sides. So I'm not sure. I tried to find some information on the internet. Are they now going to do a box set? Is this like a teaser for the box set, like the Cream's Wheels of Fire Live? A teaser for the box set. That would be so cool. Anyways, this particular album does come on colored vinyl and has custom sleeves. So this is one of the custom sleeves, gives a little bit of story about the album, how it was recorded, blah, blah, blah. It's also unique in the songwriting. Every member of The Who wrote a song on this album. In fact, John Entwistle wrote 2, and I think Keith Moon even wrote 2 on this particular album. So Pete Townsend didn't write all the music. Roger Daltrey wrote a song as well, which appears on the second side of the album. And this is each song on the particular album and a little bit of story about the song. This particular vinyl is orange with custom labels. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let me just put that back in there. And the second album, which I have not listened to. I've listened to the first album, and it's great. I mean, it's great. I love mono anyways. I think reintroducing mono is cool. Very cool. So I've listened to the first album. It's great. Here's the sleeve for the second album. Again, a listing of the songs and a little bit of history about each of the songs. And this particular album is on green vinyl, again, with custom labels. Each label has a member of the band, okay, which is kind of neat as well. So this one I think is Keith Moon. This one is John Entwistle, and then Roger Daltrey and Pete Townsend's on the other record. So this to me was very, very special. I've been waiting for this album to be remastered, re-released for ages, and with hopes that it will now become a box set. That would be so cool. Okay, I have 2 more albums to show you. Another group that I love is the Beach Boys. In my top 10 list of favorite groups, the Beach Boys come in number 1. They used to be number 2 to the Beatles, but over the years they became number 1 over the Beatles. It's just their progression in music, the length they've been around as a group, the things they've accomplished. I just think they are a phenomenal band. But this isn't the Beach Boys. This is Brian Wilson, and it's Brian Wilson's album Imagination. It's a great album. At first, when I saw it listed on Record Store Day, I thought I already had it on vinyl, as I know I have it on CD. But then I read closer that this has never been released on vinyl before. So I looked up on Discogs, and sure enough, it hasn't been released on vinyl. So I was very excited to get this particular album because it is phenomenal. Brian Wilson writes songs with a lot of different well-known songwriters. So it's like a collaboration of songwriters to do these songs that he then sings. And he does all the backup vocals as well. It's just a fantastic album. The inner sleeve is just a white sleeve, but there is a piece of paper that has the lyrics and information about the song, who played on the song, and who wrote the song. And then on the back is more pictures with more information about the album. The album itself, black vinyl. Not exciting. Not exciting. Again, I wished it would have been colored vinyl, but this year they've done a lot of black vinyl. I think it's got to be cheaper to produce because you know, the presses are set up and they don't have to re-clean them and so on and so forth. So then the last album I got is another Brian Wilson. This one happens to be a live album. These are his songs from his on tour from 1999 to 2007. So that's the front of the album. Here's the back of the album, and they have what's called the set list. So there's from many different concerts. It's a bifold sleeve. A lot of pictures. I have not listened to this. I've listened to the Imagination album, which is pressed immaculately. It is just great sounding. This I have not listened to yet, but I saw Brian Wilson live, and I think it was 2002 when he was doing his Pet Sounds tour. I saw him in Milwaukee, and he was phenomenal. And I'll never forget that concert. It was just great. So when I saw this coming out, it's like, yep, got to have. It's just on a plain white sleeve, and I think it's black vinyl. Oh, no, it's not. Ah, look at that. It's kind of a marbled gray color. Kind of cool with custom labels. Yeah. Wow, nice, nice. I hadn't pulled the record out of the jacket yet, so this is my first time looking at it. It's on, again, my list of albums from Record Store Days to listen to. So that's all of the booty that I got from Record Store Days. I don't know if I showed the back of Imagination. I don't think I did. So this is the back of Imagination. Again, I get a little bit of glare off the lights. So it was a fun day. I enjoyed it. I was in the store for, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes or so. You know, just talking with different people, looking through what came out for Record Store Day, and then browsing some of the used albums and some of the new vinyl albums, and then finally getting what I wanted, paying for it, and heading out so somebody else can come in. What was interesting is when I left, there was still a line outside the store. So, like I said, I had gotten there at 7:30 a.m., got into the store probably about 20 to 9, maybe quarter to 9. Was in the store for about 45 minutes, which would have been about 9:30. And when I left, there was still a line outside the store. To me, that's amazing how many people come to Record Store Days. I can remember I started going, I think it was 2011, might have been my first. I think 2005 was the first one. But I wasn't really big into vinyl then. And I was buying a lot of used vinyl, but I wasn't into new vinyl. And I got into new vinyl, and I think I went to the first Record Store Day in 2011. And there wasn't much of a line. Now, people are camping out overnight. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, that's crazy. But, you know, it's if you love music, you love vinyl, it is definitely your special day. So I hope you enjoyed watching my video of the records that I purchased on Record Store Day. Maybe if you went to Record Store Day, why don't you put in the comments what you picked up? I kind of like to know what people had bought and what kind of fun they had. So see you later.